We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this.
And what this is from Texas Pete, it is the Hotter hot sauce. And of course, if you want hotter hot chicken wings, you can destroy your vision trying to read this incredibly small text. And of course, there's the thing there. I'm gonna try to pull this in. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, here we go. Vinegar, aged peppers, cayenne, of course. We have natural flavor, which is extract. We have xanthan gum and benzoate of soda to preserve freshness. Blah 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 blah. So this one. This is if you're wondering what Texas Pete with that, for chili heads, this is just pointless, right? Because if you're a chili head enough to want to be amping up your sauces, you already probably have extract at hand. Putting this out on the shelf like that is, it's fine for people that don't know what extracts are and don't want them or anything like that, I suppose. But for chili heads, this is really kind of a pointless thing. The problem I have with this is that they clearly just took the original sauce and then dumped stuff in it. And I don't think that really came out. It is hotter, yes. Certainly hotter than the regular Texas Pete. No question about that. But it loses the flavor. And I think that's unfortunate. You can see it's very, very, very loose, very runny. And we have the usual reddish-orange color that we come to expect from such sauces. I mean, the extract using here is fairly minimal. It's immediate. Like you're punched in the face with it, right? It's like, okay, hey, here, just to make sure you understand that this is hot, it's extract, it's immediate. But I mean, it sort of ruins the flavor, which is a problem with the Texas Pete, I think, because Texas Pete is a very solid Louisiana-style sauce, but as soon as you start moving away from the flavors, which they did here with all the gunk they put in it, I think you get diminishing returns. So anyway, you can see it is a gorgeous color, though. It's more orange, I would say, than anything. A little bit of red towards the center. More like an orange light red, I guess. So, all right, here we go. Get a little cayenne, a little vinegar, and just a punch of the extract behind it. But really, you're getting the extract is by far the thing that you notice the most, and it's got that bitterishness to it. It's a shame. I remember when I first remember the Texas Pete was a thing. Of course, I'd had it before, but I didn't run across it a lot. And then when Chick-fil-A moved all their stuff out of malls and into just their own buildings, I went there and I had some chicken sandwich or other, and I think I had the thing I usually had in the malls, which was the grilled chicken thing with the bacon. And I went through every sauce that they had, and they had Texas Pete. That was one of them. And I remember it being just stunned by how wonderful that sauce was. So I went to the grocery store and found some more and got that as well. But over time, it didn't quite live up to as good as it was in the restaurant, if that makes sense. Definitely was no competition at all for Red Devil, which is one of the all-time greatest tasting sauces. No heat, but it tastes really good. But that's how excited I was with the regular Texas Pete that I just ran out and got a bottle just after having the packets. I ate all the packets too, of course, but it's a shame what they did with this. It really is. So here we've got one of the things that Louisiana is best on is stuff like this. So this, let's just put this over here. So this, of course, is your typical tater tot casserole. Maybe a little bit atypical because I didn't use mixed vegetables. If you were growing up in the Midwest at any time in the 70s or 80s, guarantee you would have this. This would be something you would have probably fairly frequently. It wasn't a lot of money to put together. It was hearty. It was the stick to your ribs food, right? That's what they called it. And it was solid, and then by the time you got done with it, you'd be good for another week or two, and you could keep it in semi-regular rotation. Plus, you'd usually have leftovers because you'd do a big casserole tray with it. When I eventually moved out, I would start using it for fridge cleanup. So if I had maybe a can of mixed vegetables that I got that I didn't use for something else, if I had mixed vegetables in the freezer, some open bags, something like that, I could just wipe them all out. Bang them into this casserole, and I would enjoy it. I mean, it's very rich, creamy. It's definitely very hearty. You can make it as flavorful as not flavorful as you want. I usually pound a lot of flavor into the meat when I'm cooking it. So, but this is one of the better uses for it because it's got a lot of creaminess, and if you don't pound up, like if you just do it like they normally do it, and you allow the soup, the Campbell's soup, the cream soups to be the flavor driver, it can get kind of bland in a hurry. I mean, you got potatoes. This one I had a lot of corn left over, so it's really heavy with corn. You can use green beans, whatever you want. But it tends to be really, most people when I've seen them make it, tends to be very heavy on the soup side, which can be a bit bland. So I'm just going to take a baseline here. I used a lot of black pepper. I can tell you that. I love black pepper. Black pepper in some ways was a gateway for me, if I'm being honest. Alright, so we're just gonna throw this on. This is way more sauce I would normally use with this because this particular one actually doesn't need a ton of flavoring. It needs just a little vinegar really to kind of cut through, but that's right. We're testing it, we're doing the video. I'll overuse it, that's fine. There we go. The first bites you get when you have just the cayenne and the vinegar are good. It's normal. And then you gotta get that back shot of extract in there. Louisiana sauce has to be good by itself. And, especially on this, if you start complicating the flavor, you start adding in things for it to clash with. And to, sort of worsen your food. I think that's, like I understand, like I said, from a production standpoint, like I wrote in the review in the description below, I understand from a production standpoint you would not want to try to make two different sauces, get two different lots of peppers and so on. They just ruined a good sauce. Nobody is buying Texas Pete for heat. Nobody. They're buying it for flavor. If flavor is your driver, you should not be stepping on it. And regrettably, that's what we have here. we have what's otherwise a good sauce getting punched with a dose of bitterness that, leave them wanting more, right? Not leave them wishing they had used or bought something else. It's a pity. We're all about flavor first. In my life, on the blog, and on this video series. Obviously, I like hot stuff too. But if I want heat in the absence of flavor, I could just go buy extract. So this is really a shame. And how much you use Louisiana style sauce, right? It's usually just a few drops at a time. I've used probably, not quite half this bottle. Maybe 2/5, something like that. And I just this is one that I would have to fight through, because when I look in there, when I'm looking at my door sauces, I keep right in the door. I keep some in the back, of course, for the quarterly wing thing. The ones I keep in the door are ones that I want to use. I want them to be flavor. I want me to get excited about using them, not me going, well, I guess I should use this up. You know what I mean? It's this is one of those, I really should probably use that up thing. So I don't know. This one is not, I don't think I'm going to continue much more with this bottle. I am going to keep it for the wing thing. You can't, you got to have this style sauce for the wing thing. But this is just a shame. They took a really good sauce and they ruined it. I mean, there's not much else I can say about it. I don't like using this. I don't care if I ever use it again. This is not a worthwhile thing for me. And that's okay. So what? Let me go on this. Let me get on this. Let me go with this a minute. Urazu. Urazu makes a Louisiana style sauce, cayenne peppers, and they've spiked it with ghost peppers a little bit. Now, that is my standby. That is my standard Louisiana style sauce at the moment. It's got a good solid amount of heat for that style sauce, and the flavor is just fantastic. It can be done, but not if you're just taking your regular stuff and dumping things in it. Then it can't be done. I guess Urazu cares about flavor. I don't think they do. I don't think these guys do. I don't think they care. They've got the Chick-fil-A contract, right? Those packets are in every restaurant. This doesn't even need to exist. This is just for vocal people who go, oh, Texas Pete, that's my sauce. I just wish it was hotter. And they just came up with another label. Poured a few pennies of extract in there, and there you go. There's your stupid hotter sauce. Maybe people are going to care about the flavor, maybe they're not. I don't know. For me, I know I definitely do. And that's why this is landing with a pretty big thud with me. So it's a shame. I'll just leave it at that. So, but there you go. Texas Pete Hotter Hot Sauce.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.